Bienvenue à le Metal Roundup. Je m'appelle Steve Ogy et c'est un plaisir d'être ici avec absolument c'est Metal Burb et Drew Le Fortune. Et aussi nous avons un guest, je ne sais pas le mot, spécial, Camille Contreras de le groupe de rock Novelists. Bienvenue.
Oh,
wow!
my God, wow.
I'm impressed.
When is this
Yeah.
gonna end?
Oh, thanks.
Holy
Thanks.
shit.
Yeah, Drew, how's your French? Because we're doing the whole episode in French.
Stop. How do I say stop it? Pare? No, that's Portuguese.
Arrête.
How do I say?
Arrête.
My Portuguese is getting too good now. It's getting too good.
But
no,
Burb,
yeah.
you live in Canada. Surely your French is excellent, right?
I'm French immersion. Yeah, I did. It's on my resume and everything that I'm bilingual, but I should probably take that off because if you don't practice it, it's gone. So, je m'excuse. Mon français c'est terrible.
What the fuck?
Pas
He's
mal,
actually
pas mal.
all right. Like,
Yes, I lived in Paris when I was a kid for about a year and a half. So that helped.
Okay. Yeah,
Cheat
that
code.
helps, yeah.
Cheat code. Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, we'll be in English. Welcome, Camille. Thank you very much for your time here. Excited to have you here. This is not our first time meeting. You were on my podcast, my channel recently. It was very nice. Have you met either of Middleburg or Drew before?
No, never. It's the first
No.
time. Nice to meet
First
you guys.
time. Yes.
Very nice
Virtual
to meet you.
handshakes all around. Virtual handshakes.
I'm very excited to talk novelists and other things too. I'm absolutely loving all the new songs and what you guys have been doing.
Thank you.
Hard to agree. When did you first discover Novelist, Burb? I think you're slightly more plugged into the scene than myself years ago. Do you remember being plugged into Novelist a long time ago?
Yeah, it was Noir, which was 2015, I believe, is when the album came out. Yeah, with Matteo being the vocalist. So I've just always been a fan. But to be completely honest, I actually kind of fell off Novelist a little bit. I was still checking out the Deja Vu stuff. But then Camille, like what you've been doing is just like, I'm so excited for Novelist again. Coda was one of my favorite songs of last year, so I cannot wait for the new album. So,
Thank you.
Yeah, all the new songs have been great. Been enjoying all this. I only discovered Novelists, I think, one song before you joined, so I wasn't like completely attached to the older sounds. I was like, a new singer? I don't remember their old singer. Let's go. So for me, it's kind of I've been a journey for the whole time. Drew, what about yourself?
Yeah, I kind of thought that I was the outlier, but it sounds like you don't really know much of Novelists apart from their newer stuff from what you just said. But
Basically,
I basically had a question for is it Camille or Camille?
It's Camille. It's a French
Camille.
name, so yeah, it's
Right.
with the
I don't
accent,
really-
Drew, with the accent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Camille. I have a question for you because I feel like I'm probably the person here that hasn't heard much of Novelists. I think I heard Coda and maybe the last one. I'm not sure.
Say My Name.
Say My Name, yeah. I think I'd heard those two, but I wanted to get your take on this because I know you've only been involved. This is your first album with the band, right?
Yes, we
Yes.
released the kind of EP before the album, but this is the real first for me.
Right, okay. So we'll exclude this album and the EP that you've done with the band. If you were to suggest an album from the band that you think would be a good starting point for me, what would you go off of? No pressure.
Yeah. I don't know, because I did all the harmony of the album C'est la vie. So
Right.
if I say that, maybe I'm a little bit,
A little bit biased. Yeah.
maybe.
Okay.
Or Souvenir. Souvenir, like it's a masterpiece. So yeah, I'll say Souvenir.
I've heard a lot of people talk about that for a long time. I've had album polls and stuff like that where people are voting, and Souvenirs has been so close to winning it every single time. But it does seem to have a lot of people that are fans of it. So it's interesting because that was 2015 when Burb had first heard a Novelist. So that's going back.
It was
10 years ago?
2017 actually. Noir was 2017.
Oh right, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
so-
But okay. Well, that will be one that I'll just have to get to at some point before I get to the new one as well.
And I didn't know this. So you've had connections to the band for a while now because you were doing harmony on C'est la vie.
Yeah, it was in 2019. So I'm from Marseille, south of France, and the boys were looking for girls to do the harmonies of their album to have more bigger dimension with a girl voice. So they asked Nico from Landmarks, hey, do you know a girl that can sing? And he said, yeah, I know Camille. So they sent me to Paris to sing all the harmonies for a Novelist. At the end of the recording session, they were like, hey, do you want to do a feature with us on the song C'est la vie? I was like, yeah, why not? So we did it, and then I just came back to Marseille doing my own stuff, and 4 years after, they just call me back like, "Hey, do you want to be the singer of Novelist?" And here I am.
Wow. Has it been easy for you to kind of find your groove inside the band?
Yeah, I think it was easy, but it took a little bit of time. Like that's why like the EP is really like the time it took me to find the sound that I wanted to have. The creation process also took time to take place. So yeah, I think we needed like a year, and and we were also like touring during this whole time, so it was hard to create and also tour. So yeah, a year, and now I'm feel completely at my place.
And what
It
is
sounds it.
yeah, what is this place? Because like people are saying there's like Paramore influence, but then I found out that you do have Haley as an influence, right? As a singer.
Yeah, totally. I can't say only one influence because I did like classical music with violoncello. I played in a orchestra. I have a Spanish gypsy family, so flamenco is also a big part of my influences. I
Sick.
play.
Throw that into a Novelist song.
Yeah,
We need a
please.
flamenco breakdown.
I'm also
We have
Spanish background, so
we have a surprise on this album.
oh,
You heard it
Nice.
first here, folks.
So
Very
yeah,
nice.
and also punk hardcore. This is where I come from. So I think all these influences, they give me like opportunities to create something different in metal. Because I also like Beyonce, Hayley Williams, Dua Lipa, like or Billie Eilish. I have really eclectic influences. So I'm happy that now in Novelist I can really be at my place and do whatever I want. Sometimes it's a little bit weird. The boys are like, we're not sure about that, but in the end we have some cool songs.
That's great. That's what makes you stand out. That's going to make the difference.
Exactly.
You don't want to do what everyone else is doing. And anytime the three of us are kind of the same. We see something new introduced into the world of metal. We're like, great, more of this. Blend something else in. I loved the fact that the Coda music video would look like a fucking Katy Perry music video. I was like, yeah, this is great.
Yeah, totally. We really wanted to do something different. Like when we were creating the song, if it looks like something that already exists, we were like, no, just change it, and we try to do something new. And we are already thinking of the new album. We were like, how can we do to be again different? So yeah, we're trying to always work in this way.
that's awesome.
It's insane the difference that like something as simple as like even just a wig, like a different color hair is like so much more like viscerally memorable, you know? Like even me, for someone who hasn't like heard much of Novelist music, it's like that. Even the thumbnail of the video just stands out in your head so much. It makes it so much more memorable. So it's definitely something that I don't think a lot of or enough bands pay too much attention to, you know?
Yeah, I wanted to create like a character to show one of my personality. And yeah, on this whole cycle of this album, I'm wearing a pink wig.
Yeah, the
Remember,
pink one,
Steve?
yeah.
We had this conversation.
Yeah.
It's like the red wig. She's like, it's pink. I'm like, oh shit, am I colorblind?
Yeah. To me, it was red as well. So
I thought it was red too. Actually,
Yeah.
I think men are more colorblind.
lighting,
Actually,
maybe.
men are
Maybe
colorblind
in
a little bit.
person. Maybe it's color corrected.
Yeah.
It's a problem of color editing, I think.
Yeah, maybe. And Camille, just to like, did you say that the wig kind of represents your personality a little bit more, or do you feel that you kind of grow into a different person, like a kind of more of a stage presence when you put on the wig, or do you feel that it brings it out of you more, like who you actually are?
That's a good question. I think it's a part of me, but of course, in everyday life, I'm not that eccentric as I am during stage. I'm not wearing that wig on stage because I can't wear it because I have in-ear system, and the wig is just crossing my ear, so I cannot put the in-ear system, even though I would like to have the pink wig. So I think on the music video, it shows the character, the personality that I can have on stage. And I don't know, I just wanted to show a side of me.
There's got to be a wig company out there somewhere that will hook you up with some kind of like in-ear thing that can make it work, you know?
Or dye the hair and straighten it. Like go extreme.
Just go full though, yeah.
Yeah, just go.
Absolutely.
I have a side job and I don't.
Oh yeah.
I was talking about Drew. I want Drew to dye his hair pink and straighten it. Yeah.
Oh god.
To get more views, man.
Yeah, we would stand out a little bit more.
Well, it'd be too close to my skin color. I'd be just one big red blob going around.
Yeah, I was saying to Camille when I met her in Brighton, I was like, I'd love to think that I can be super objective about music and I don't care what anyone looks like, I just care about the music, but actually visuals do matter. Like it adds a different kind of tone to it as well. So it makes sense if you change that within videos. I mean, the most recent one, Say My Name, you've still got the pink wig.
Yes.
But everything else visually is a very different tone. It's this black and white. It's like mourning. It's pieces. There's a dress with like candles on it. Where's this stuff coming from?
This dress was something. It's she's a creator from Riga, Latvia. So she has crazy ideas. So when I was wearing this it's a red dress with candles, but it's in black and white, so you can see it. And there was a guy behind me. He was taking
with a fire extinguisher.
Exactly, and he was like, if during the set like you feel that it's too hard or like that you're burning, just turn around in front of me, and I will use it to just put off the fire.
Yeah.
Did you have to? Did it happen or no?
No. Okay. In the end, but I was afraid to turn around and that he thought that I was having a problem. That it will be ruining the scene.
You're just stretching and suddenly you're getting hosed down.
Yeah, I know, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Amazing. Oh, that song was glorious. I mean, what's odd is, as much as I don't want to, I also fall into similar traps of fans of music where like Coda was amazing. And then I'm like, I want every song to be like Coda. And the next song isn't. And I'm immediately like, oh no. But then you give it the space and time and actually Say My Name. I think I gave that a masterpiece. I thought it was a fucking brilliant song. So I'm really excited for the album. When is that coming out? That's got to be soon.
16 of May.
Yeah.
Okay. Soon.
Yeah.
May is busy, yeah.
We'll get Sleep Token's album out of the way and then Novelists. Right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. That's a pretty good segue into the most recent cover that you guys did on your socials. I've seen that you guys are delving into the cover world of Sleep Token. You want to?
Yeah. I was just listening to this song in repeat for I think weeks, and we wanted to play it. And also when Steve, you were saying that visual is important, I totally agree with that. But in the other hand, I'm seeing Sleep Token that are not doing any music videos and that are so big, and the music is really touching all the hearts. So I think, like, as they are really talented, they can just not have any music videos and still be the best.
Yes, there's a balance to be had. I would say that if your visuals are amazing, but your songs are shit, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
But if you have incredible music and no visuals, that can still work. But ideally, you have a bit of both. And I'd say that they do. Like, they don't have, live action music videos, but they are clearly very thoughtful about the imagery, the tone,
the
and
artwork.
stuff.
Yeah. During the shows, during live, they're amazing.
A weird example, but it's like The Simpsons. When back in the day, they wrote all the Simpsons characters are yellow because when you're flipping through the stations, they want you to stop and like, what are these yellow characters? Yeah. Why are they yellow?
Yeah.
So it's like if you're watching a music video on autoplay on YouTube, and then who's this woman with red hair? Or sorry, pink hair.
Yeah, no problem. We can say red. It's okay.
Why is there a black flamingo? What is this?
Yeah.
But yeah, was that? I mean, they make it sound so easy, but that looked like it's a difficult song to cover. I think the vocals on Caramel are tricky. I think to execute the words, especially, are quite hard to connect together.
Yeah, totally. It was. We had to change a little bit the tone of this song for me because it's too low or too high. So we had to change it. And as Pierre is a genius, he did it in a minute.
Yeah. Yes, he is gifted. I mean, fucking hell. Have you lads seen them live as yet?
No, I haven't seen them live, but I've seen the guitar playthroughs on Instagram, and just like some of my favorite stuff is seeing the classical, like Spanish infused guitar playing, and it's just mind blowing. I love the different genres.
I mean, it's sick. It's so good. And the two guitarists in Novelists are amazing. And
both of them.
Like, sometimes we'll do like back-to-back solos, which is quite cool. My only thing is there, it feels to me like every single song this is my only like gripe is like, at some point you get to the bridge and do they just go on guitar solo? Like we have to, every song needs a guitar solo. Is that a signature stamp that they want to have in every song? It's like, well, is it a song if it doesn't have a guitar solo?
Yeah, or people will be angry, you know.
I think when the guitar work is that sick, I'm totally cool with the solos. Actually, I will throw in a hot take with a band called Shadow of Intent. They have a guitar solo with like every song, but sometimes like, I don't know, I feel like the scales are kind of similar, that it doesn't sound that different. But with Novelists, it always feels so fresh. Like, Coda has like a little bit of a bluesy, jazzy solo. They
all have a solo in them. Yeah.
There's 2 solos in Coda. That's what I love. The ending too, like.
Oh yeah, there is a song in the new album. It's called In Heaven. You will hear it soon. And the solo, it's Flo that wrote it, and it's not like a classical solo. It gave me vibe of I don't know, you know the movie Grease, like 80s, and you feel like you are at the party at the end of high school, and like you wanted to have to look at the girl, you know, and that gives me that kind of vibe, and I really like it. It's really interesting. I'm really excited for you guys to listen to this solo.
Wow,
that's something to look forward to. Did you just say that Flo wrote it, as in the vocalist from Landmarks wrote the guitar?
No. Flo Restant, the guitarist from Novelists.
I was like,
there isn't a feature on this album. It's only me singing.
Okay.
Was that deliberate?
Yeah, because it's the first album with me as a singer. So we wanted to, you know, put in people's head that I'm the new singer, in case people missed it, or
it's been that way for a couple of years now.
Yeah,
you know, some people are still angry about that. So we just wanted to say it's me, and that's
only
it.
online, I imagine. Like
yeah, totally.
And those can be
behind
ignored.
the screen.
Doesn't matter. Totally irrelevant.
Yeah.
Have you? I watched like a couple of your interviews because again, I'm not too familiar with the musical side of Novelists, but just beforehand, just to try and familiarize myself with yourself, have you noticed a shift over the last like 2.5 years, 2 years, or whatever it is? Just I guess from I know you were talking about how, you know, you see the negative comments in the YouTube, and people like, you know, are quite I guess were divided on you joining the band. Have you noticed like a shift nowadays?
Yeah, totally. I think so. Of course, when I arrived, a lot of people were hating about me, or not even me, just the fact that they changed singer, and also the fact that I was a woman. But like they went away from Novelist, and other people came, so like the balance was still positive. And for the first EP, we still got some haters. And when we released Coda, I really noticed a shift, as you said, like the haters wasn't there. So yeah, I really felt that it was changing, and I felt at my place when we released Coda.
Sick. That's good. But also, here's an important thing I think to keep in mind is that your brain might tell you that there's 50-50 split and half people aren't liking it. It's probably more like maybe 10%. But we focus on the critics. We focus on the negatives, and all the positive comments are like, yeah, fine. But you don't really take them in. So you have to sort of psych yourself out of some of that, I think.
Yeah, the minority is always loud.
Yeah. I'm really trying not to focus on the haters. And I'm also trying not to read the comments at all. But sometimes, you know, at night, I'm just reading all of them. And some of them are funny, actually. Even though if they are hating, they are funny. So
you can't let yourself go too down. Yeah, you can't let yourself go too far down that like hole of reading these comments, because it's just never going to end well.
Yeah.
It's got to be frustrating though that, you know, they still get mad that it's a woman fronting the band too. And, you know, like also like sometimes I call bands like female fronted, and I want to hold myself from saying that because I know shouldn't be like that. But how do you feel about like the term female fronted bands and and how silly.
Or do you
it might
prefer
be.
male-backed?
Male-backed, like Courtney LaPlante
Male-reared,
says. Yeah, male-reared, yeah.
Male-reared.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe human-fronted.
Yeah, human-fronted,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
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 non-gender
I don't
specific.
care.
Yeah.
I made a conscious choice on my channel. I don't think I've ever said female fronted. I'm just like, it's a band. It's completely irrelevant. Is the singer good? That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, no, I think in the past I have, because it is a male dominant scene for sure. And
Yeah.
I do think that females have a different tone, of course. So,
Oh yeah.
you know, it helps describe
Yeah.
us down. So I for sure have said it in the past, but I understand that now there's more and more women coming into metal, and I love it because it's creating just more demographic. When you go to a show now, a good portion of the audience is actually women for a change.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a nice change too. But musically, like, it's getting more diverse, which I like.
Mm.
Yeah, and as you said, that the sound can be different. So if you have like a festival full of male-fronted bands, the chances of them sounding similar to each other is pretty high, and that's not very interesting.
Yep.
Whereas, like, I noticed this maybe it was like 5 or 6 years ago at Download Festival. I swear, about half of the bands were female-fronted or had a bunch of females completely in the band. I'm like, great, but it wasn't even they did that as like a look at us, we're being progressive. There was no mention of it. It's just that's just what the scene is.
Yep.
Get on board, like period.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. What did you think of I know it's a bit old news now, but I guess it's resurfacing again at the end of May with Linkin Park's new album. Obviously, Emily Armstrong being revealed as Linkin Park's new vocalist is a pretty big deal when we're talking about female fronted bands. What did you think of the whole rollout with Linkin Park?
Sorry, I didn't catch that because there was a little bit of lag.
Oh, yeah, no, I was just asking, what did you think of the Linkin Park rollout with Emily Armstrong? Obviously, if we were talking about like female fronted bands and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. The fact that they have a new singer, I think it's always frustrating for fans. I totally understand, like when you love a band and the singer is no longer the singer you love, it's like it's a little bit frustrating. So I totally understand that, and I think that I really like the songs that she's playing with Linkin Park. And I'm happy with that. We are playing the Hellfest this year, and we are playing the same day as Linkin Park, and
Sick!
I can't wait to see them live. Yeah,
Amazing.
this is gonna be awesome. Yeah. So excited for that.
Yeah.
They might end up having their own backstage area within the backstage area, but like you gotta try and say hello to them.
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna be able to say hello, but I'll just be a fan in the side.
Quick side story. I once played a festival in my hip hop band that Snoop Dogg was playing. He was headlining it. And we were backstage, but he had his own backstage area within the backstage. And he had his own Nando's chicken truck in his band stage.
Wow.
They ate, I think it was like 500 chicken wings. The Nando's people told us they had. Him and his mates. Fucking amazing.
You were in a hip hop band?
Yeah.
I was not
Just a casual
rapping.
drop?
I wasn't the rapper. I was on
I've had
drums.
this one before. I think me and you maybe discussed this before, Steve, when you were in Ireland. Maybe we've definitely talked about this at one point. Yeah.
No,
That was a mind-blowing moment.
I met Snoop Dogg. We had a chat.
What?
It was
I need to see a conversation between you and Snoop Dogg. Oh my goodness. That's like two polar opposite ends of the planet colliding.
What was the conversation between you and Snoop Dogg?
I'll try really quickly. My band, that we sold an album on sunglasses instead of a CD. We were trying to be kooky and weird and different. So you'd buy the sunglasses and there's like a download code on it, because you take the CD. This is back when we used CDs. You put it on your computer and then you'd never use the CD again. So we're like, you might as well just have sunglasses instead of the CD. So we did that, and then at that festival we give a box of them to one of Snoop's crew, one of his other MCs. Like, here's some free sunglasses. And then later on, we're watching his live set, and he walks on stage wearing these bright yellow sunglasses that looked a lot like ours. I was like, oh man, we should have given them to Snoop. He might have worn them. And I realized those are our fucking sunglasses.
Oh, wow.
I have photos of, maybe I'll
cool.
try and slice this in there. But yeah, Snoop Dogg headlining a festival is wearing my band's album on his face. So after the gig, I went back to the gate for his backstage area, waited for him with a different colored pair for him. I was like, Snoop, thanks for wearing our shades. Would you like a red pair to go with your yellow ones? And he's like, well, there was a bouncer in between us. And he's just like, give us here. And so the bouncer goes and gets the shades. And I was like, yeah, it's my band. It's an album. And it's like, you get the download code. And he's like, this shit is fresh. And then he twigged and he went, y'all got some promotion, huh? And I was like, yes, thank you very much, Snoop. It was very nice. He's like, all right, cool, man. And then he walked into his pen.
Amazing.
I need the Steve book. When are you writing a book, Steve? Just about your life experiences. Jesus Christ.
That's what. Anyway, enough about me. Back to festivals, though. Related, you're playing Download Festival this year. So Metalburb and Drew, if we're afforded the ability to go to Download this year, will finally be able to see Novelists live. Have you played Download before? Or is this your first time?
For me, it's my first time. I don't know if Novelists played it before, but for me, it's my first time. Yeah.
Nice. I think you're on the Dog Tooth stage. As I see it, currently looking like after Unprocessed, perhaps another band that we like. Here should be good. And the band called President are playing the same stage on the same day. They're the mysterious new band that no one's heard yet. All the rumors about. Have you heard about this at all?
Nope.
So President are a band playing the festival. They've released no songs. It's like, how can you play Download Festival with no songs? It's some kind of potentially masked, anonymous supergroup thing. So you might get to see backstage firsthand, who they are and what's going on there. Have a look out for President. We'll see what that's like.
Yeah. I will check that.
The hype was originally because people thought it was a member of Sleep Token and they were going to unmask themselves. So that was like with the whole Sleep Token lore that was happening. Everyone kind of assumed that this was going to be a new thing they were doing on the side. But I think it's been pretty...
We're pretty sure.
Yeah, we're pretty sure it's not, Yeah, we're pretty... Yeah, I'm not sure who it is, but we're pretty sure it's not someone from Sleep Token anyway.
Yeah. So what we'll need then, because you'll have access to all areas, is during their set, you run on stage and just take off their mask.
Okay, I'll do that.
Oh, man.
That'd be cool, man. But yeah, looking forward to that. That'd be good. Are you doing a run of festivals this year, presumably?
Yeah, this summer, I think all weekends we are playing festivals. We are playing also in Spain, in Europe, only Europe.
Have you done festivals with Novelists before? Is this your first go?
It's my first summer. I'm really excited and also a little bit stressed because there's a lot of people during festivals. So yeah, I'll see.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to worry. Having seen you live, you don't have to worry. Excellent. But I suppose what'll be different is you won't get a sound check probably. Especially if you're in the middle of the stage, you might get some line check, but you probably won't be doing the line check. Or would you have a plan for how you approach getting the sound ready?
For this, no, I don't care. I think we'll line check. We already did that for some shows. I'm just worried, like playing during on daylight, and there is a lot of people, and you're seeing them, like all of them. Because when you're playing in the dark, like you don't see the crowd, and when you're playing festivals, you have to see these people, and they're watching you, and that can
you
be
see
really
someone in the back with a hot dog, like I don't get it.
Exactly. Who's that girl?
It sounds like to me now you definitely need to get the pink wig sorted. In the daylight, that's going to hit different.
Yeah.
That'll hit different for sure.
I'll try something. Maybe I will cut, for the ear.
Yeah.
Like a mullet. Make it a mullet over your ears.
Oh, yeah. I can do that. Yeah.
You can just get like the removable spray paint, not spray paint, the hair dye. You can get, I used to get that when you were kids, where you can just spray it in for like a day and then it comes out. It'll be all right.
Yeah. It's going to be ugly.
Oh, God.
That'll be good. I'm hoping, obviously, as a festival goer, for good weather. But you playing the Dogtooth stage, you're hoping for rain. What you really want is rain, because then everyone comes in for the shelter and you get a packed out stage. That's what you want.
Okay, so let's hope for rain.
I hope it rains just for your set. No other time. I don't want rain.
Nothing else, please. Yeah. Me and Burb traveling over just to get pissed on for the whole
day. Pissed on. Sleeping in tents. Yeah.
When they say pissed on, they mean rain. They don't.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
Unless it's Johnny from Health.
Oh my God.
Are Health playing Download?
No.
Okay.
I don't think
thank God.
So.
Don't need to bring my umbrella for that one then. It'll be all right. I was going to also ask as well, Camille, I know we were just talking about Unprocessed there, and that kind of reminded me that I think I just missed you guys playing with Tesseract. You guys did a round with a few shows with Tesseract, or was it just one?
Oh, we did a whole tour.
Oh, you did the whole tour, right? Okay, because I know Tesseract have had kind of like, it was relatively soon after. I know they toured with Unprocessed and the Callous Dow Boys in January of 2015, 24? Was it 24?
I think around, yeah, it's about a year later. They did like a second
Oh,
lap
it was,
on
okay,
cities,
yeah.
cities
It
they'd not
was-
played before on that tour.
Yeah, it was like the same. It was like an extension of the War of Being tour. And Tesseract are like probably my all-time favorite band. So what was it like getting to tour with those guys?
It was so cool. Like they were like always kind with us, and
Yeah.
we were touring in January this year, and it was like B market cities, like the cities you don't used to go, like
Yeah.
Finland, in Sweden, or we went to Greece, Italy also. So it was really cool city. So we had the chance to visit a little bit, and yeah, it was really cool. The singer, like I'm a fan. Like he's so amazing. Like his
Dan
technique,
Tompkins.
yeah, his technique is amazing, and he's not using any autotune. And I'm really I don't use autotune, and I really like people that don't use autotune. So you can really see if they sing well, or if they are, like, using a cheat code a little bit.
Yeah.
And Dan from Tesseract, he's really talented. Like,
Yeah.
he's warming up before every show, and he's really taking care of his voice. And he was sick, I think, like for 2 weeks, first 2 weeks of the tour, and he managed to sing every night with the fact of being sick. And yeah, he's really nice, and he was always supporting me and giving me advices. And when I was asking, and I was watching all the show, and the lights show also was really impressive. We were talking about the visual impact of a band, and yeah, the light, the sound engineer was really good also. So yeah, it was we were learning from this tour.
For sure. Yeah.
Did the sound engineer do the full tour, or was he just doing Tesseract? Did you have your own sound engineer?
Yeah, we have our own sound engineer. Yeah, and he was also learning from the Tesseract sound engineer.
They were perfect. They were impeccable. I was not expecting to find it so impressive, but yeah, like Dan's live vocals are ridiculous.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I only saw them once. It was like in 2012 or something, in this tiny little bar in a town called Oshawa. And they opened for Protest the Hero. And I remember really liking the vocals, but I can only assume the production has completely changed for them.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels like the latest album Dan has... I've always loved Dan, but there's always been this like back and forth between, is Dan the better vocalist, or was Ash the better vocalist from Altered State? And I think Dan, maybe I'm reaching here, but I think maybe there was something subconscious there with this most recent album that he was like, I have to settle this debate once and for all. And he just fucking nailed it. He was
Legion?
so good.
Yeah,
Legion, I was just thinking.
Yeah.
It's funny because
my mind was blown here.
I loved Tesseract so much when I was younger. I was listening to their early band, Fell Silent, a lot, and then when Ash joined the band, that's when I lost interest for me back in the day, because like, it's not screaming anymore. Mind you, I'm like in my 20s and younger, but now with Dan joining the band again, I'm like, I'm finding my love for Tesseract again. But now you're telling me, Drew, that Altered State is a must, which I've only heard like 3 songs off it, but
yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot we had that conversation. I need to hear you listen to that, Burb. Yeah, I think you'll love it. Have you got a favorite?
Oh, go on. You finish your thought.
I was going to ask Camille, does she have a favorite Tesseract album?
Oh, I think the last one, because I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know the previous one, and I heard the new songs every night during 6 weeks.
Yeah, amazing.
Well, I was just going to say, speaking of albums, the last time we met, the three of us for this podcast, the lads were talking about a new album from Thornhill. Are you familiar with Thornhill at all, Camille?
Yeah.
Okay. So they had a new album called Bodies that came out, which I hadn't heard yet. So we had you two chatting about that album. I really liked it. I thought it was great. I think you guys said it was maybe not as interesting as you'd hoped, a little bit samey, but I loved the groove and the tone of it. And I think it's one of those things, maybe it's a similar phenomenon to the Make Them Suffer album last year, which I loved and not everyone did. I think if you love that sound that they're creating, you're quite happy to sit in a loopable album of that sound with variations between songs. If you're not completely enamored with that particular sound, then you're like, it all sounds the same, I want something different. So there's probably a bit of a subjectivity in there, but I think that album absolutely slaps.
Yeah. We were calling it that. We think you were going to like it the most.
The grooves.
Yeah.
And another thing that we can definitely touch on, because this has been such a big part of the podcast lore. But before we do it, Irv, did you want to go?
Well, if it's only Patreon, I don't know where you're going with this.
No, I was going to say, just for Camille's, have you heard? Are you a fan of the band Loathe by any chance?
Yeah. Hey guys, just a quick little break because we obviously love talking about music and everything else here on the Metal Roundup. We love talking about it so much that we even film bonus episodes at the end of every episode. And where can you go to watch these bonus episodes? Well, they're for our patrons on patreon.com/the Metal Roundup. Check out our backstage pass where you can submit questions directly to us and we answer them on these bonus episodes alongside our guests who join in on these conversations. If you'd like to get access to our private Discord community or get access to early YouTube videos, then feel free to check out our backstage pass or our guest pass, where you get early access to YouTube content plus Discord access, but tier 1. If you're interested, there's a link down below for the bonus content and Discord server. But otherwise, thank you for watching, thank you for supporting, but let's get back to the episode.
You a fan of the band Loathe by any chance?
Yeah, I listen to some songs, but I don't really know like all the albums. But yeah, I heard about them.
Okay, right. Because we've been kind of bullying Steve for the past, I would say, months now at this point. It's been like, to be honest, it's been like his YouTube community has been bullying him, but then we've kind of just jumped on board and started to like put more pressure on him because we're like we're speaking on behalf of his community. And he finally listened to it. I don't know how deep we want to go into it, but did you finish on a solid? Was it, did you give it I'm so mad at you, Steve.
Listen. A solid is a good rating. It means it's not bad. Like it's solid overall. And that's an average. There were moments that I thought were brilliant within it. But also, this is an important thing, I think. It's different when you hear something for the first time. Your brain is on fire trying to, especially if it's complex and surprising and it's got huge dynamic shifts of like beauty and calmness and like rage and aggression. It's a lot to take in. So on first listen, moments I loved and moments I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I didn't understand it. I didn't know if I liked it because I'd never heard anything like it before. But that has happened with music in the past, and I've ended up really liking it. So like it might grow. But on first listen, I enjoyed it as an experience. I thought it was very creative. It was very interesting. And there were moments I thought were absolutely gorgeous. And I have listened to it since. So I'm enjoying it. We'll see where it goes from there. But yeah, it's certainly interesting. I mean, it did sound impressively like a very unique thing. They're their own thing. You can hear obviously influences from previous bands, Deftones being an obvious one, but they've created their own sound. And I'm sort of hearing that because I'm noticing bands after them sounding like Loathe. And that's the impressive thing, I think, there. So yeah, I was impressed by it.
That was the one thing when I listened to Take Me Back to Eden by Sleep Token, the breakdown at the end of Ascensionism is so Loathe. The boom, like that whole thing. I was like, this is so like a Lowe's breakdown. Instant. I know they're like kind of tight as well. They did a song together.
They're influenced by
so
Loathe
I just instantly,
I
was like, this is so Loathe. I know Sleep Token kind of just take things from everywhere at this point, but that one in particular felt very Loathe.
Yeah, and we knew Drew that he was going to give it a solid. Like we were going to just listen to it, say it's not for you, and then we can move on. So we knew it was going to happen.
To be honest, I was shocked by the solid. I thought you were going to succumb to the pressure a little bit and just give it like a what's the one below Masterpiece?
Delicious.
I was like, I thought it was
felt
going to be
the eyeballs of every fucking YouTube comment being like, "What do you think?" And I'm like, I need to be honest.
It's funny because it seemed like you enjoyed it a lot more than Solid too when you were listening to it.
But I don't know. This is taste. I would rather an album where it feels more like it's an album of songs. I don't really like the interludes. They kind of bring the vibe down for me a little bit. Or, some of their unusual endings of drones and things. I'm like, I don't think you need that, but it's a taste thing.
Yeah. I think we both enjoy albums for different reasons. I think, Steve, you like just like the bangers, just like nonstop bangers. And I'm someone that likes an album that feels like a story, like start to finish and super cohesive. The interludes that goes through like the peaks and valleys, it slows it down only to shock you again or something. I felt like the Loathe record did that really, really well.
Yeah.
Camille, have you listened to the Loathe I Let It In and Took Everything?
No, I don't want to be bullied. I will listen to
Yeah,
it.
no, you have to.
Yeah.
The
But you won't be
sooner the
bullied if
better,
you listen
otherwise
to
they'll
it,
keep,
yeah, so-
they'll be in
I
your
will.
freaking
Yeah.
DMs.
Yeah.
Have you heard it
it's
yet?
like, well, come on. Yeah.
I'll listen to it tonight. I promise.
Maybe not before bed. That's a heavy one to try and go to sleep on. You know, you might have
okay.
nightmares. It's like a horror movie, but
Yeah.
maybe in the gym or something might be a good place.
Oh,
Where do
yeah.
you listen to the album? I don't even really know. It's a bit unique.
That's also
in
a question
sense.
I think I had is like, when is the right mood for this? Because it isn't like, oh, I just want to chill. Some moments are chill.
Yeah.
Like 2A Mirror, definitely. But like other moments are like, it's a total roller coaster that takes like 40 minutes. I don't always want a 45-minute roller coaster. I don't know what I normally do.
Yeah. I mean, is there any, like, I guess, maybe bands that are quite underrated in your opinion in the scene right now, whether it be like metalcore or deathcore? Like, what are you listening to in your own time? Do you listen to, are you clued into the metal space, like the modern stuff going on, or do you not really pay attention to it?
Yeah, I don't think I have in my mind like how do you say underrated?
Underrated, yeah.
Yeah, underrated band. Right now I'm listening a lot to Sleep Token.
Yeah.
And also I don't know how it is if I pronounce it well, Eka Vandal. EK Vandal.
I don't know either. I'm calling them Eka Vandal.
Yeah, Eka Vandal. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
how do I spell
UK
it?
punk sort of band. They're like indie punk.
Yeah.
They're pretty cool. Like they're not great if the lads are like, maybe I'll check them out. I don't think they're interesting reaction wise because their songs are kind of like vibey, punky, cool, but they're quite simple. But that's sort of the charm. But it's not that interesting to pick apart. But they grow on you.
Yeah, it looks like a little bit Turnstile.
Oh
style.
yeah, I just literally started liking Turnstile too. Okay, I see.
Okay.
Eka Vandal. Eka Vandal.
How do I spell it? Sorry, I'm trying to find it here on Spotify to see if I've heard anything.
ECCA and then Vandal.
Yes, I see it straight away. Are they? You said it was like a punk. What's their?
It's kind of punky indie rock UK.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, it's cool though. It's vibey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got a bit of edge.
Okay. Maybe
Sounds
the
very
Loathe album wasn't the
Turnstile.
best. Maybe the Loathe album wasn't the right pick for Camille. It's a bit. It's a bit heavy.
Sleep Token adjacent. I've been getting more and more into Ghost. Turns out, I saw them live. Do you listen to Ghost, Camille? Are you familiar with them at all? Yeah.
Nope.
They're like spooky John Bon Jovi. Is kind of what they're like. Halloween meets John Bon Jovi.
It's like Sleep Token for old people, essentially, is the way I look at it. Like,
and look at me. So yeah.
No, just the visuals. I just have that funny image in my head. It's like, oh, this is like Sleep Token in the wrong era.
Yeah, it's like older school, sort of religious, but dark, ghoulish, spooky things. But like they're good. They got great songwriting. I saw them live a few days ago at the O2 Arena, and they were fucking incredible. Like absolutely amazing. What was interesting though, as a talking point for us to chat about, phones got locked up when you went into the arena. You were not allowed your phone the whole time. Now it wasn't because they don't want you to film the thing. It's, it's because of bootleg sharing it online. It's that they don't want anyone to not be concentrating on the show and connecting with the music in that moment. That's the reason that they've done it, which you can kind of feel the difference in the room. Like any small thing that happens on stage, if one guitarist puts their leg up on a monitor, you get a cheer because people are focusing on all of the moments. So that's pretty cool. But I did miss being able to take like a little memento of my view from my seat. But yeah, how do you think you'll ever lock up phones of your fans, Camille?
No, we won't do that.
We need the social media.
Yeah,
and I think it's part of a new generation. Now we're not asking people to put the lighter. We ask them to put the flash of the phone, of the cell. Oh, yeah. So I'm new generation, so I'm okay with that.
Although I do think there's a scale. I think we're quite lucky in the rock and metal scene that at any one moment, I don't think more than 20% of the crowd will have their phones out. But in more of the pop, R&B, hip hop world, it's every fucking person. They're literally the whole time watching the whole thing through the phones. I went to see NF a year or two ago. Great rapper. There was one person, I'm not kidding, had 2 phones. 2 phones. I'm like, whose phone has he brought from his friends? And they can look like they're at the gig. I don't understand it.
That sounds like
I just
Ryan.
realize that Bluetooth exists. That's what I'm asking. It's like, just send one video. Like, why we,
maybe he's live streaming from 2. I don't know, but it blew my mind. It was so annoying.
When we did a tour in France in March, and so we were 2 bands. Nervosa, it's a band only with girls on the band, and they are playing like thrash metal music, and they were like crowd that were coming to see them and other to see us. And there was a guy, an old guy, and during our show, he was like texting someone. And I thought it was rude. So rude. I just went to him and I was screaming to him. And then he just got his eyes up and it was like, okay, I'm gonna put back my phone. And I thought that was a little bit disrespectful. If you're like filming quickly and then just watching the show, but if you're texting in front of me, like, it was disrespectful.
Well, I guess that's the thing with where I kind of get behind the idea of, now it's a little bit of a catch-22 because if I'm going to a lot of these shows, a lot of the time I'm doing content. So I kind of wish for it in one way, but in other ways that would hinder me directly when I can't take out my phone to record it. But like in moments like that, maybe he's not like even intentionally, because people are so addicted to their phones. That's the problem. When you have no choice and you're actually like told not to do it, those little moments by accident don't happen anymore, because people are more conscious of it. So he's probably just there not even thinking about it. Like he's not thinking that this is someone's career and they're doing this and people are in front of them like just on their phone. Like he's not even thinking that way. So in one way I could see it going full circle, to be honest. Like I think a lot of people are getting fed up of having phones, and just even there's something a little bit off about having like the flash instead of a lighter. There's something like real cool and like old school about having a lighter. I don't think I've ever been to a gig with a lighter, by the way, but I hope to one day experience that. But I think we could come like full circle eventually. Maybe a couple more years. I think people are getting a little bit.
There's kind of trends right now with like social media detox and other things, like people trying to use their phones less. So it could be a thing. Like one thing that holds me back from that is like I feel like phones are good for emergencies just in case, right? And then if you don't have that on you, I don't know. That's one thing I don't like. But also for like capturing content, I think it's a good thing to have. But if but if people are like texting, it's like going to a comedy show or anything. Like they don't want you taking any footage or anything. And luckily with comedians, if they see you on your phone, they'll call you out, right?
Roast you.
Yeah.
They'll roast you.
Yeah.
So
Camille's version of that is scream in their face. That's
it seems like it.
Yeah.
But what they did do, actually, incidentally, is it meant that people were talking to each other like strangers a lot more, because you weren't like barriered off by your phones. You'd be like, how you doing? Whoever's next to you. It did make for a friendly atmosphere, which is good. But as a content creator, I was like, I'm going to review this gig with no footage. So I'm just there like, I must remember everything.
Yeah.
That was tricky.
Yeah, I think Tool have been doing that for a couple of years. I think Tool have always done that, to be honest.
Yeah,
where they just don't allow.
But at least when they played London, they wouldn't lock up your phone. They would just say it's forbidden to take any footage. If you do take footage, then you get escorted out of the building by security. They do that all night, and then at the very end, they said, "Right, you guys have been great. You can film our last song." Which is a classy thing by Tools. I like that because then you can get your memento and you're good, but for most of the thing you don't. Ghost, they're locked up they get a little pouch. You put them in a pouch.
My God.
That's locked. Yeah. But there's unlocking stations in the arena. So if you do need to make a phone call, you can go and unlock it, make a phone call, put it back in.
That's why I was talking about with the emergencies kind of thing.
That's what I thought. I was like, okay, the emergency thing, I was like, I assumed it's just like, don't use your phone or you'll be thrown out. But they actually take your phone. That sounds like a logistical nightmare to do that.
Yeah, it doesn't make it faster to get in the venue. I can tell you that for fucking free.
Yeah.
That was the news headlines. There was like a hour-long lineups to get the phones, right? Or something?
It was like a mob at one point. It was so busy.
That's terrible then.
Wow.
It's not great. And also, there was only one band. It was just Ghost. There was no support. So you wouldn't even get fans trickling in earlier or later to spread that out. Everyone's coming in for the same like 8:30 start. So it was mayhem. I was very fortunate that I had a VIP in, so I didn't have to queue with it, the main thing. But it was mad.
No. Okay, because of that and the logistical nightmare that it was, it sounds lame as hell to lock up your phones.
I'd rather the Tool way.
Yeah, the Tool way, just put it like, don't use it. maybe the singer will scold you if you are using it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's way better.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I'm shocked by that. I didn't think they actually took, especially like maybe I would have gathered that from like a smaller venue where it's a lot easier to like, take people's phones, but to like actually take the phones, that's the first time I've ever heard that.
But then that would happen if you're filming a show, for example, for like live DVD, whatever it is, and you don't want anyone to have footage. That's a normal thing. You'd have to check in your phone into a lanyard, whatever it is. That does happen.
Yeah.
I've never seen it done at the scale of an O2 arena. That was wild.
Yeah, like I've been at events where they tape your phone, where they just get a piece of like, masking tape and they tape the camera. Not that I can't just take that off.
Could just...
But like, yeah. But I think it's more of a like, hey, this is not allowed. It's kind of just more of a physical thing to be like, we're making it very clear that you're not supposed to be doing this. So if you do it, you're gone, you know?
If I see this tape on the floor, I'll be very cross. I'll be cross now.
Yeah. Oh, man. Wow. I was not expecting that.
Yeah. But the thing is, they're a massive band. They can do what they want. Like, the fans are still going to go. They don't care. People are rabid about Ghost, turns out. Almost as much as Sleep Token fans.
Yep.
Are about Sleep Token.
Feels like the same thing that Sleep Token could do in the future, too.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they already don't allow press photographers. Like, I could not get a press photo pass for Sleep Token. It was not allowed. Same when I was interviewing Johnny Frank, their support act, Bill Murray, at Sleep Token. I couldn't get a photo pass to interview Johnny Frank in the O2 arena because Sleep Token are like absolutely no cameras because the anonymous thing, I guess. So I had to get a gaucho restaurant nearby where we did the interview because I could not get a camera in.
What?
For the support band interview wouldn't allow it.
And I interviewed Health at the Wembley.
Yeah, but they didn't want you to do that as well, if you remember.
No, they were fine.
Oh,
they didn't say anything.
I thought you said you that was the plan. You eventually did do that, but before you went, he was like, I don't know. Apparently, like I can't like film anything in there. So
no, that's not true at all. No, I was able to film, and Health were very gracious about it, and I filmed stuff with them.
Nice. I do know that happened. I thought before you had linked up with Johnny, that the thought was you probably couldn't, but.
No, but security was intense too. Just like, is it okay for me to get into the green room? Like, no, wait. I'm like, okay. Like,
I don't have a gun. Fuck.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
I wanted to ask Camille because I'm just so excited to talk about more Sleep Token. I don't know if you're aware of the lore behind this podcast, but we are like joked as being the Sleep Token Roundup as opposed to the Metal Roundup because we're all the biggest Sleep Token fanboys. So. We've seen that you've done the Caramel cover, so we now know that you're a massive fan as well, so we can talk about it. It's allowed, guys. When did you jump on board with Sleep Token? Like, when did you actually get into the band? Are you a relatively new fan, or did you get in a few years ago?
No, I think it's only been 2 years.
Right.
So our sound engineer, he always starts the sound check with a Sleep Token song. And I started listening to it, and when we were touring the US last year, we had the chance to see them live in Dallas, and so we were opening the show for Era, and we did our set, and then we took an Uber. We drove like I think 20 minutes, and we get back to we arrived to the Sleep Token show. We had to leave before the end because we had to go back for the end of the show to pack everything and to do the merch at the end of the show. And I think it was one of the best experience for me to see them live. I felt like I was a child, in Disneyland. Like I was like so impressed to see them live. Of course, they are amazing, and I didn't know what to expect before. And when I see them, like the light show and the chorist and everything, it was a suspended moment for me. Like I felt like, goosebumps. And I think it's the first time for me in a show that I felt that much emotions. And so, yeah. And since this show, I'm really into Sleep Token.
Nice.
I'm a big fan. Yeah.
Amazing.
What's a couple of favorite songs that you have from
them? So of course, Caramel. Let me remember the name. I have them on my Spotify because they are like, on repeat.
The Sleep Token fans are intense. We ranked our favorite songs and no answer was right. Every answer was wrong.
Yeah.
Everyone was mad at us for everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the summoning. I think this one is my favorite. Yeah.
Great song. Another song with a guitar solo. I'm seeing the Novelists
Yeah.
there as well. Yeah, for sure. Makes sense.
Genre
Now,
blending.
Sleep Token are, I just can't get over how big they are, like how big they've gotten. Because the growth from Take Me Back to Eden was like 300,000 monthly listeners to like 4 million.
Yep.
And then in 2 singles, they've gone from 4 million to like 8 point something now as well. It's just like, I can only imagine something like that motivates you massively, that like these things are possible in this space.
Yeah, that's crazy. We saw that they also how do you say overpass like mainstream artists like Ed Sheeran and stuff like. And when you see that, it's
crazy.
It's amazing. Yeah, that's totally crazy. Yeah.
Like
Ed Sheeran, come on.
Ed Sheeran, Miley Cyrus.
It's becoming normal because we're so used to Sleep Token being very well known in the rock universe, but it's fucking prog metal with like R&B that's sometimes 8-9 minutes long. That is not a recipe that anyone would pick as like, yeah, one day that will outsell Ed Sheeran. What the fuck? And like, I keep going back to when I first saw them with like, I don't know, let's call it 200 people at a festival. And we're all just like, this is interesting. This is quite interesting. Yeah, no one's going, this band's going to be the fucking biggest band in the world. Everyone's going like, this is interesting. Yeah, this is cool. I like this. This. But I can't believe that same band is now this absolute world dominating force. That's fucking insane.
The fact that so many metalheads are annoyed with Sleep Token being as big as they are is really annoying, because they should be like grateful that a 6-minute song like The Summoning went viral, because what was the last time something proggy like that got that kind of mainstream success?
Tool,
like Tool, with Schism. That's why I call like The Summoning is like this generation's Tool Schism. But even like back in like the 70s, like Pink Floyd and other things were like writing unconventional song structures, and now everything is just 3-minute songs, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. It's the same thing, just different.
Which I do love.
Yeah, and I do love too. But like, I love art being like the boundaries of art being pushed. And if like the wide demographic can find enjoyment out of that, it's crazy. Mind you, The Summoning went viral because of a 2-minute funk section that a whole bunch of TikTok thirst traps started. But
the music has to be good outside of that little funk moment. Otherwise, it's just a one-off TikTok moment.
It's true. But have you seen the replay section on YouTube when you watch the music videos for The Summoning? It's like all plateaus, a bump for the breakdown, but then the funk section is like this huge jump.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah,
but I know, but it's just funny to notice.
If the but if the rest of the music isn't good, then they're not beating fucking Ed Sheeran and Miley Cyrus. It's just not.
Well, that's Caramel right now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Insane. I went back on their because it was only since we did the ranking that I realized I haven't checked out 1 and 2. I think I've heard maybe 1 or 2 songs off of 2, but I've never listened to 1. I've never heard any of the songs off 1. And
so how we ranked all the songs to see.
So we're
throwing songs down. That's why people were like going crazy. I was literally saying it in the video. I was like, I don't know what that song is. I'm just going to throw it down the end. But to be honest, I don't think it happened too far off the bottom anyway. I did not enjoy the first EP.
It's different. It's a different tone.
It's just
a different blend.
It feels like Sleep Token covering, or it feels like another band trying to cover Sleep Token. That's what it feels like to me.
I understand that. I don't think they're as good as the more recent. Like
it's
Summoning,
there. I can hear its vessel, but I was also told after the fact that I didn't realize that they weren't even Sleep Token, like the full band at that point. It was just Vessel doing everything. I didn't realize that.
Here's a hot take for you. I'll take the 1 EP over Caramel and Emergence.
Incorrect.
Give me Thread the Needle.
And no.
Yeah, 100%. I love how dark and mysterious it is.
That might be worse than Steve's number 42
no,
take.
That's Emergence and Caramel are awesome. I love them, but 1 EP is special. The raw production, the starting out, there's something very special about that.
I think it's objectively not as good. However, I can feel the
music is subjective. Can't say it's objectively better.
No, it's objectively incorrect, Verb. But because that's got a special place in your heart, you are going to hear that differently. I think if people come into the 1 EP and they listen to those 2 new singles, no one's picking that. as like, oh yeah, the one EP is better. Like, no,
I beg to differ. I think some people who want the more mysterious, gent, atmospheric sound will like that more than the pop. I think a lot of metalheads who hate Sleep Token should check out the first couple stuff.
I think for an EP as well, it's just very slow and drawn out. There's like a lot of downtime in it for like a 21-minute EP, and I'm like, all right. And yeah, it's just like, I mean, I don't think it's too far gone. Like, it's, again, I don't know if this is 100% fact, but I've seen people saying it, is that it is only Vessel. Vessel's doing everything on it. So like, it doesn't have the genius of Two behind the writing as well. So I mean, like, to say that it's objectively not as good as their new stuff, again, it can't really be objective, but like, it's not far off something like that if Two is not involved, because he's such a fucking beast, you know? Even though I think I was saying, oh, Two still sounds great on this. So like, I was just talking shit because apparently he's not actually even on it, you know?
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, it's
a
drum
know.
machine.
Is it interesting?
I don't know. People say it's Vessel doing everything. I don't know if they mean,
I remember
like,
when
he's just writing it or actually playing everything.
I remember when I was like listening to Sleep Token, and then I heard Jaws, and like the drumming was so intricate on that track, and then I went back to check out the EPs, and then the drumming was like a lot more simplified. I'm like, oh, that's different. And then I found out it's a drum machine because Vessel did everything.
Right. Okay.
Well, we're looking forward to hearing your thoughts on the early EPs.
And Loathe.
When you get to those. And Loathe.
Yeah. And then we are very excited to check out the Novelists record and hear some Spanish influence, perhaps.
I have homework to do.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to checking out the album, because I think, like Steve kind of alluded to it earlier, is that when you sometimes go into albums with expectations, whether, like Steve was saying, that the singles were so enjoyable, sometimes I've found in the past when I've really enjoyed the singles, I go into albums like a bit worried, because I'm like, oh, there's no way they're going to live up to this. I found that with there's a band called Rivers of Nile. I don't know if you're familiar with the band, Camille. Anyways, their first single that they dropped, they've got an album coming out on the 30th of May as well. So it's coming. May is going to be huge for new releases and stuff. But they dropped their first single, and it's still one of my favorite songs this year. It's called House of Light. It's so good.
Okay.
And they've kind of like, I've not really enjoyed the two singles that have followed. They've been okay, but like, they set the bar so high. Yeah. So in a way, I'm kind of excited to go into their album with, I guess, it going down a bit, instead of it like kind of, you know, going up and up and up, and then the album comes out and you're like, oh, you know, it's a bit of a drop off. So if they have like loads of non-singles, but with your album, I've not really heard anything off of it. So I'm kind of going in completely like a fresh slate, and I love listening to albums in their entirety. So I'm looking forward to checking it out when it drops in like 23 days from now, I think. So
yeah.
So by that logic, the last song of Novelists, Camille, I thought it was a masterpiece. So I'm so sorry, but you can only meet that or fail.
Yeah.
No pressure.
No pressure at all. Yeah.
It's already done. It's already recorded. It is what it is now.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Do you watch kind of reaction videos and things, or like the YouTube comments? Do you stay away from that, or can you not help yourself?
No, I'm still watching the comments, but I'm not like I'm watching them in the beginning, and then I stop watching them, because I don't want to focus on that. I just I just want to play show. The best thing I like to do is playing show live. So I'm not gonna check this, but our manager, he's looking at the manager who is also the bassist, Nico. He's always watching all the numbers, all the comments, to see the reaction, because this is really important to see how the crowd is accepting the songs. And for this album, I think you're gonna be surprised. Like we have a lot of different things. There is some slow songs and some, again, really like banger style songs.
Let's go.
So, but we have also interludes, and we are really proud, because it's a big story.
It's down to a solid already. But go on.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a story. This album means a lot to us, and we are so excited to be out.
Cool.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
We're excited to hear it. For sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, it doesn't really matter the opinions of some people on the internet who won't buy tickets to go and see you anyway. What matters are those that you get to see at the shows, and I'm sure
exactly.
Right.
But it's genuinely like one of my most anticipated records of the year, so I can't wait.
Yeah.
Me too.
Right. Well, this has been a joy. This has been one of our most anticipated conversations. As soon as we had you sign up for this conversation, we're looking forward to this. So thank you very much for your time, Camille. It's been a joy.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, pleasure. So we'll add some links in the description of this to Novelists on Instagram and all sorts. Do go check them out if you watch this and enjoy this conversation, and check out that new album when it comes out. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this podcast. There's more of these amazing conversations coming up soon as well. So thank you for tuning in. Hopefully see you in another one of these episodes very soon.
Merci.
Merci.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.